Now the cyclic alkanes. Cyclic alkane means if there is no end to the structure, we call them as cyclic. Between the carbon atoms, there should be a single bond because to be an alkane, and cyclic refers to that it does not have any end. So if it is CH2, 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 and CH2. How many carbon atoms are there? How many carbon atoms I drew here? So 4 carbon atoms are there. For 4 carbon atoms, it should be, what is the prefix used for 4 carbon atoms? It's but because of the 4 carbon atoms. And they have a single bond throughout the chain, so it is butane. But how I can distinguish whether it is a normal butane or it's a cyclic butane? So just add a word cyclo. Before the name, just add the word cyclo. So it is cyclobutane. Cyclobutane means, this is CYCLO. Cyclobutane means it does not have any end. For 4 carbon atoms, we use but. They have a single bond, that's why ane, so it is butane. But how to distinguish whether it is a normal straight chain butane or it is a cyclic butane? Cyclic means like does not have any end. So just add a word cyclo. So this will become cyclobutane. Another structure. What is the name of this? How many carbon atoms are there? And what is the prefix? 3 carbon atoms. What is the prefix used for 3 carbon? So it is prop. And because they have a single bond, so it will be ane. So it is propane. But because it is a cyclic structure, so what I will do, I will just add the word cyclo. So it is cyclopropane.
Sir?
Yes?
Sir, unlike the branched chain alkanes and the straight chain alkanes, the cyclic alkanes in here always have the ends as CH2.
Okay, within the structure, the hydrogen you mean?
The ends, yeah, the number of hydrogen in the end of the, like
Yeah,
this has no end, but like considering like it always has to be H2, right?
yeah, the number of that's right. It will always be like this. There,
It cannot
but
be
actually, there is a cyclic with a branch as well. Again, that the structure will become complicated. So you will consider that it is only like having, because as you move to higher classes, higher studies, you will find that the cyclic have branches as well. Like it's, but that's a like a making it more complicated. We'll not go in that detail to make this complicated. This can also be possible. Like this structure is existing, but you
but
will
the
consider.
branched cyclic, it's out of our syllabus, right?
Yeah, you don't have to go through that point. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
You
sir.
will,
Thank you.
you will always have CH2. Another structure, CH2, 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 CH2. What is the name of this compound? Direct the full name of this compound. Yeah, that's right. Cyclohexane. Why it is cyclo? Because it's a cyclic. So it's cyclo. Hex because they have single 6 carbon atom, and ane because they have a single bond. What is the molecular formula of cyclobutane? What is the molecular formula of cyclobutane? Molecular formula means you just count the number of carbon and hydrogen. cyclobutane is C4, the first structure, cyclobutane. So it is C4 and H8. What is the empirical formula? The simplest ratio between carbon and hydrogen. So that is CH2. Same thing. What is the molecular formula of cyclopropane? C3H6. And what is the empirical formula? CH2. So you can find that all the cyclic alkanes have the same empirical formula. Like for a cyclohexane, what is the molecular formula for cyclohexane? When I write the molecular formula of the cyclohexane, 6 carbon atoms and 12 hydrogen. An empirical formula will be the simplest ratio, 3 and 6. When you take a simplest ratio, you divide by a common factor. The common number from which both are divisible is 3 here. So that's why I'm dividing both of them by 3. So this one is 1 and this is 2. C6 and H12 because 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So C6 and H12. And when I take a simplest ratio between 6 and 12, I'll divide by a common number, like common factor. So 6 is common for both are divisible by 6. So 1:2 is the simplest ratio. So you will find all these cyclic alkanes Is it clear? Copy these examples. Copy these examples for cyclic alkanes. Then moving on to the more different structure, different types of structure, functional groups. First, we were discussing the hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon means they contain carbon and hydrogen only. But what are functional group? For functional groups are atoms or group of atoms. So functional groups are atoms or group of atoms or type of bond present in the organic compound which chemically change the properties of compound. So basically atom or group of atom or the type of the bond which is present in the structure, and that will change the chemical properties of a compound. What we call that atom or group of atom as a, or a type of a bond as a functional group. So you have to learn certain functional groups. Alkene is classified as a hydrocarbon as well, and it is also classified as a functional group. So when it is alkene, what is the meaning? If there is an alkene, it means between the carbon atoms there should be a double bond. So alkene is one functional group. Alcohol means that OH is present in the structure. If OH is present in the structure, it is alcohol. Carboxylic acid, a carboxylic acid means if this is group of atom like C double bonded with O and OH is there, if this group is present within the structure, we call them as carboxylic acid. Halogens, halogen group 7 elements such as if fluorine is attached, chlorine is attached, bromine is attached, or iodine is attached, we call them as halogen groups. Esters, ester means if C double bonded with O and O is there. Within the structure, if this group is there, or it can be C double bonded with O, and oxygen can be on the left hand side or on the right hand side, this group is called ester. So if double bond is there, the name should end at ENE. If alcohol is there, if there is a OH group, alcohol is there, so the name should have OL. If carboxylic is there, C double bonded with O and OH, the name should have oic acid. Look, it is easy to remember. Ene is there, ENE. Alcohol is there, so name should have OL. It's from alcohol only. Carboxylic is there, so it will be oic acid. How it is oic acid? Oic acid. So actually, the name is coming from the functional group. But for halogens are there, if halogens are attached, if fluorine is there, we'll use the term fluoro. If fluorine is there, we'll use the term fluoro. If chlorine is there, we'll use the term chloro. Bromine is there, we will use the term bromo. And iodine is there, we will use the term iodo. And for ester, the name should have O8. I will give example of each, but this is just the start, the beginning. So basically, what is a functional group? Functional group means when atom or group of atoms or type of a bond present in an organic compound which chemically change the properties of the compound, we call them as functional groups. There are many functional groups. One of them is amine as well. Amine means when NH2 group is attached with a carbon, we call that as amine, and the name should have amine as well. I will give example of each functional group so you can understand. There are many functional groups, but you're not learning all of them. You should learn these 6 functional groups and how to name the compound from these functional groups. So if there's a double bond, it is alkene. The name should end at ENE. If there is OH present, it should be all alcohol. If carboxylic C double bonded with O and OH is there, we call them as carboxylic. The name should have oic acid. And if halogen, chlorine, bromine, or iodine is there, we will use chloro, bromo, iodo, fluoro. Ester C double bonded with O and O is there, we call them as ester. And the name should have O8. And amine, which is NH2 group, the name should also have amine. Now the first one, finish writing this. So I will give example of each function, how to name a compound with these functional groups. All these functional groups I will explain. It's first thing, I want you to copy this all, and then I will explain. Finish writing this. So now we naming these functional groups. So first we started with alkene. What is the rule? First, what we do, we will number the carbon atom. And the numbering should start from nearest double bond and then what we will do, first use a prefix for the carbon atoms, then position of the branch, position of double bond, and then the name should have ENE. For example, if I have a structure CH3, CH, double bond CH, then CH2, then CH3. And I have to name this structure alkene. So first what I will do, the first is number the carbon atom, and numbering should start from nearest double bond. So if I number from right hand side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So actually the double bond is present with the third carbon. If I number from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the double bond is present with the second carbon. So which numbering should I follow? It is between second and third. We'll always take a smaller number. So I should follow from left to right or right to left. So I should follow a numbering from left to right. So first we take a numbering from left to right. Now use a prefix for the carbon atom. How many carbon atoms are there? And what is the prefix for this carbon? So pent. Because there are 5 carbon, that's why I'm using a pent. What is the position of the double bond? 2 is the position of the double bond, so it is 2. And ene, because they have a double bond. So actually it is pent-2-ene. Is it clear how we name this structure? Now the second one, number the carbon atoms, and numbering should start from nearest double bond. So if I number from left hand side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fourth position we have a double bond. If I number from right hand side, the numbering, I have first position the double bond. So I should follow a numbering from right to left. So I should follow a numbering from right to left. Now with number of the carbon atom, because there are 5 carbon atoms, so it is the prefix I should use is pent, and 1 is the position, so I can say pent-1-ene, pent, because of 5. 1 is the position of a double bond, and ene is because of double bond. So it is pent-1-ene, or when 1 is there, you can also say pentene. So it is pentene. And when you write the molecular formula for pent-2-ene, molecular formula, because 5 carbon and 10 hydrogen. And when you write a molecular formula of pent-1-ene or pentene, 5 carbon and 10 hydrogen. So when 2 compounds have the same molecular formula but different structure or different names, what we call them? We call them as isomer. So pent-1-ene and pent-2-ene are isomers of each other. If there are 2 double bonds in the structure, then we'll use the term diene. Di means 2. But even there can be 3 double bonds within the structure, but that will make the structure complicated. So you don't find in O levels, you will not find very complicated structure. Mostly are the simple structures in which the positions are different. But there are compounds which contain 2 double bonds, 3 double bonds. So if 2 double bonds are there, for 2 double bonds, we'll use the term di. But I don't want you to confuse, that's why I'm not going in detail of this. If 3 are there, then we use the term tri. If 4 are there, we'll use the term tetra. Like the type of the double bond, if 4 double bonds are there, we'll use the term tetra. But don't go in detail of this because you are just studying the simple structure. So this one is enough. Is it clear, this example? Pent-1-ene and pent-2-ene. Finish writing this, so I will give another example of functional group. So the next one is alcohol. Alcohol means OH group is there and the name should have OL. Number the carbon atoms. So first what we'll number the carbon atoms only. So when we number the carbon atom, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So second position I have OH. If I count from right hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third position I have OH. Which numbering I should follow? Left to right or right to left? Which numbering should I follow here? So I should follow a numbering from left to right because from left to right, the branch is coming at second position. So I will remove the other numbering. Now, there are 4 carbon atoms. Because there are 4 carbon atoms, so what is the prefix used for 4 carbon atoms? For 4 carbon atom, the prefix is but. So I will say but because of 4 carbon. What kind of bond is there between the carbon atom? Double, triple, or single? So they have a single bond. So what is the term used for a single bond? So it is ane. So we'll write butane. But because the functional group contain the name of the functional group alcohol, like this OL is starting with a vowel. So when it is starting with a vowel, we will not write ANE, we will write only AN. When the functional group name is like alcohol, so it is starting with a vowel AEIOU. So whenever it is starting with a vowel, we will not write full AN. It is AN, but we will write only AN. Now, what is the position of the? So it is but. What is the position of OH? It is a second position, so it is 2. And due to this OH, what we call that as all. So what is the name of this compound? It is butan 2 all. But because of 4 carbon and it is A and E, but because the functional group is starting with the vowel, that's why we will not write complete A and E, we'll write only AN. And 2 is the position of OH and OH is there, that's why it is all. So it is butanol. Is it clear, this example? Bute because of 4 carbon, N because single bond, 2 is the position, and OL is for alcohol. When the name of functional group is starting with a vowel, O is a vowel here, so we do not write ANE, we will remove this E and just write AN. So it is starting with a vowel, that's why we remove this E and we just wrote AN. If it was not starting with a vowel, then we will write complete ANE. Another example, CH3, CH, CH3OH. So we'll count the carbon atoms. 1, 1, 2, 3. Second position, I have a double bond. 1, 2, 3. Second position, I have OH. So both cases, I can follow a numbering from left to right or right to left. It does not make difference because both numberings, the OH is coming with a second carbon. So there are 3 carbon. What is the prefix used for 3 carbon atoms? Prop. So I will say prop. What kind of bond is there between the carbon atoms? Between carbon, single, double, or triple? It is a single, so it is ane. But again, we are starting with the functional group is alcohol, so that's why we'll not write full ANE. We'll write only AN. The position of the OH, that second position we have a OH, and it will be all. So it is propan to all. Is it clear, the naming of this alcohol? Copy this as well. So this is the last topic for today's class. Next session, I will continue this functional group and explain the remaining. This is all introduction of organic chemistry. Next week, I will complete the introduction and start the chapter. But this is a base, like if you have a good base of organic chemistry, naming these structures, you will not find it difficult to understand organic chemistry. So it's better you also revise what I explained this week, the introduction, before the next session. Any doubt related to the class today? You cannot say it is propanol. Why you cannot say propanol? Because propanol means when OH is attached with the first carbon. Here is CH3, CH2, CH2, and OH. This is not a double bond, this is a single bond. So now OH is attached with the first carbon. When OH is attached with the first carbon, you can say it is propanol or propane 1-ol. So this is the last part for today's class. We'll continue this